Welcome back. Nancy Guthrie has now been missing for 2 weeks with no arrests in this case and no persons of interest named. The first signs of her disappearance started in the early hours of February 1st. A 911 call was placed around noon Mountain Standard Time, alerting authorities that she was missing. Since then, both local police and the FBI have been involved in the investigation, with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos saying the search can take from anywhere from hours to years. For more, let's bring in CEO and founder of the National Center for Open and Unsolved Cases and host of Crime Reconstructed podcast, Morgan Wright. Morgan, thanks for being here this morning.
You bet, Jackie. Thank you.
Of course. So this doorbell video of this masked suspect, it surfaced about 10 days into this case. The FBI said they got it through residual data in Google's back-end systems. Local investigators initially thought that no such video existed because Nancy's Nest doorbell camera was disconnected and she did not have an active subscription. Here was what the FBI director said about how they got that.
The FBI is the only one who has the capabilities and the technical discipline to go in there and assist local law enforcement to get this type of information. And not only were we able to get this type of information, but we were able to exploit information pursuant to our private sector partner engagements that showed us that there might be persons of interest in and around the area related to this event.
So obviously a hugely important development. It prompted this search for the man that is 5'9" or 5'10", medium build. But it also brought Google's privacy agreement into the spotlight. It allows video to be captured when a camera is not on. And if Nancy didn't have a subscription, that video should have theoretically been out of the system within 3 to 6 hours. But what can we take away from all of this about people's expectations of privacy during this digital age?
You know, Jackie, privacy isn't a technology issue. It's a policy issue. Security is how you enforce, like, privacy things. So what happens is when people download apps, when you get these subscriptions, these agreements are written by lawyers, and they tend to be very complex. So you have to read through. But when you read through it, a lot of people were should people in this day and age be surprised Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook are collecting information on you? No, because when you agree to use the service, you agree to that. So in that agreement, and I know people talk about privacy, but in that agreement it says, here's what we do with it, here's what we could collect. And one of the reasons they collect, even without a subscription, they still will collect information for training purposes, to train their AI, to train their model, to train their algorithms, analytics. So there is this portion of it that's always being captured. That was one of the issues with voice-activated assistants like Alexa and Siri, is listening to that buffer. Where does it go? What do you do with it? So one thing with privacy, it's not a technology. It's enforced by technology, but privacy is one of those things. But most people aren't lawyers, and they aren't going to read a 50-page document.
Yeah, or realize when they download an app, they're agreeing to all of the terms, basically. You know, during the Super Bowl, Amazon ran a commercial for its Ring doorbell cameras. It was meant to tell this heartwarming story about a lost dog being reunited with its family, but it ended up creeping out a lot of people. Here was that ad.
Pets are family, but every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs. Since launch, more than a dog a day has been reunited with their family. Be a hero in your neighborhood with Search Party.
Huge backlash followed that ad. You had Ring severing ties with the firm Flock Safety, which deploys its cameras for license plate readers with law enforcement. Back in October, they had announced they would be powering this new feature called Community Requests, which lets people submit their doorbell camera video to law enforcement for investigations. But a lot of folks didn't realize that this had apparently already been used or launched in some way or another. Does this reaction, the public reaction to that ad and the knowledge that this was, in the works, tell you that most people don't realize the extent of their digital footprint or how they are consenting to it being used?
Yeah, Jackie, in the last couple of days, I've been working with a team of analysts. We're getting ad tech data, which is the mobile data off of phones. And I always have to preface it by saying, let me be very clear. What we collect is lawful. It's in the agreement. We're allowed to use this. I think part of that messaging, you got to realize in a commercial, they're trying to get a point across. But I don't want to turn these things into pharmaceutical ads where you've got, 30 seconds of disclaimer and only 5 seconds about the product. But that's really one of the problems. They didn't set the expectation, is that this is how we do it. Most of this stuff is opt-in. In other words, unless you opt in, or if you don't read the user agreement that says this is how we do it, then that's the way they collect the video. But a lot of the stuff, like looking for the dogs and stuff, very noble and stuff. But I think they had to make sure people say, this is what we do with your stuff up front. We only use it when you turn it on. We only use it when you say we can use it. That would have gone a long way to tamping down some of this. But what happens is when you don't say that, people, then a narrative gets out there, just like in the Guthrie case. A narrative gets out there, pretty soon the narrative becomes that's the way it is, as opposed to what the facts are. And the facts are, it's in the agreement, they say they can do it, but in reality, most people, like I say, I'm not a lawyer, I read some of this stuff and sometimes I have to put it into Grok or ChatGPT and says, give me the too long didn't read version, what does this mean? Am I giving away any privacy rights?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure, and in this case has generated really the only lead in this case. So you can certainly see how it can be helpful, but also kind of make people wonder about what their cameras are doing without their knowledge. All right, Morgan Wright, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.